can sing it in the shower. Get it memorized.
Are you in frame? I think you're in frame.
Am I in frame?
Up in
Yeah,
there.
sure, why not?
Your gut is a beer belly.
My beer belly.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Barely Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Teddy, brother.
Yeah.
You know my name.
Yeah, well, I know your name. They don't know your name, bro.
They do not know my name. I've got this for you.
Yeah.
I have to ask you this.
Go ahead.
Just throw you in for a loop. Just
throw me in.
just
Throw me in.
it's
the
a
deep
surprise.
End. In the deep end.
Tell me why a podcast, Chriso?
Why a podcast? Well, all right, for me and you brought up a good point.
Yeah.
But I generally just wanted to record our conversations.
Yeah.
If people listen, it's great.
Yeah.
Because when I work with you, and we can't disclose where we work.
No,
one thing, 'cause
yeah, we don't want
they
the
don't like
stalkers.
that. Well, no, they don't. It's not that.
We don't.
They
want
don't
the
like
stalkers.
it.
Dude. There's
But
10,000 people listening to this.
yeah, with our one person listening, it makes my time go by, and you make me rethink some things sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think we just generally have good conversations. But you brought up the point that we're two regular guys from two vastly different backgrounds, because you're from Ethiopia, I'm from America. I mean, you're a doctor, and I'm a piece of shit white guy.
You used to be a doctor.
Yeah, used to be a doctor, correct. Yeah, you used to be a doctor.
No longer.
But,
yeah.
so we're from so different backgrounds,
Yeah.
and we can come to the table and discuss things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I
And
think
that's
so too.
what this world is missing. And I think we can show people that.
Yeah, I could not have said it better. We could not, just looking at our backgrounds, you might as well be an alien for me.
The moon, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's so interesting. But then it doesn't get more regular Joe than what we have right now.
Yeah, dude, like when we met, we fucking instantly clicked.
Yeah.
Like, the first time we talked, I was like,
Yeah, this guy, he gets
This
it.
guy,
Yeah. And then if you're just sort of going through, like, automatically putting people in a box and just naming them something,
Yeah.
it's easy to call each other something and just put each other in a box.
Oh, yeah.
But no, but then
absolutely.
these conversations happen where we both have this affinity for rational thinking.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like,
Even when we disagree, that would look
yeah.
typically an ideology kind of difference.
Yeah. Like,
We seem to agree on fundamentals.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I think reason doesn't prevail anymore. And that's something we need to bring back.
Yeah.
Reason needs to start prevailing over every other objective reality
Yeah.
or subjective reality
Yeah.
at this point.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's why. And then the second part to that is why, because I'm sure most of what we're going to say, at times there's going to be that rare genius sometimes is going to
Yeah.
just drop in here.
Very rare genius.
The
too.
rare
I'm
genius.
going to tell you how rare this genius is going to be.
It's because for the most part, it's going to be some juvenile diatribe. I'm
Ah.
perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
But why immortalize it into a podcast, like record it down?
Yeah.
Because why the fuck not, bro?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Like,
Yeah.
because we could.
Well, I mean, yeah, we have the technology.
We have the technology.
We can make him better, stronger, faster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then
$1 man, dude.
And I appreciated your openness. I like honesty in people.
Well, yeah. Well,
think that's
why
why-
am I going to lie about what I believe in? Because if I
Yeah.
lie about that, I'll lie about fucking anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I should have stopped being friends with you
I
when you
know.
started ruining movies for me,
yeah.
which I have a bone to pick with you, obviously.
I'm sorry, bro.
You know, when it started with Matrix, and I'm like, yes, obviously a phenomenon of, like, in popular culture, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, but what about 2? And I'm like, what about 2? And then every movie of a sequel we've discussed since then, you've made absolutely convincing points that would be like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that sequel was horrendous.
Yeah. Well, okay. So there's a lot of movies, and I know you're a big fan of John Wick, and the 4th one just came
Yeah.
out. Have you seen it yet?
I did.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
you like it?
No.
No. You don't like it?
And I'm not saying this just for the thing,
Okay.
for the theme.
Yeah.
I honestly was like, this is bad.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I hate about it.
Well, go ahead.
No, tell me.
Okay. So I think that story was originally supposed to be just one movie,
Yeah.
because it looks like the way it starts, the way it ends, it doesn't frame up to have any sequels.
Yeah.
And it's like the story's over. He comes back, he gets the new dog at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert if anyone hasn't seen John Wick 1.
Yeah.
So he does his thing throughout the entire movie. It's because he's retired. He's retired from that kind of work. So he wants to be retired. He's done. His wife's dead. She gave him a dog. The asshole kid kills the dog, and he just fucks that kid's world up. And then he goes back to his life. And that's where it should have ended. And no knocks at Keanu, man. You're taking jobs, dude. Take your jobs. Make your money.
Yeah.
That's not on you. It's just like Hollywood has a notoriety to try to franchise fucking everything.
Correct.
And it gets to the point where it's frustrating. It's like, why does this movie need a sequel? Why can't it just be one movie, one beautiful story?
Yep, that makes sense to me because like I saw the second one, and after I saw the third one, I was like, the second movie could have been the last 15 minutes of the first movie.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh my God, like how?
Because I stopped after the second movie,
I mean, it almost seems like they made a bit of an effort on the third one.
Yeah.
Because the second one was like, let's just grab onto this, you know, like heat that we have going now.
And I'm not. John Wick was a hit, dude.
Yeah.
It was a fucking hit.
Yeah, but we both like plots when they're substantial.
I'm big on story.
Compelling. Yeah.
I'm big on story.
Correct.
Story before everything else.
Yeah.
I don't care who's acting in it.
Yeah.
I want the story to be good.
Yeah.
And that's what's lacking a lot in a lot of movies.
And I'll tell you what happened to the fourth one. And obviously there's a bias because I'm seeing it
from
your perspective. I've got like that Chris Passage, you know, goggles on, and I'm like, could you have made a slightly more effort? I mean, this is probably not going to be everybody's opinion about it, but I was like, the fight scenes, the action scene, it almost seemed like nobody put an effort into it.
Yeah.
Like it looked like an old man. Like, now, you know how you keep saying looking for a flaw?
Yeah.
Because I keep saying the guy that was already downed.
Yeah.
Because I expect him to just come back up after 5 seconds so he could shoot him in the brain.
Yeah.
But the guy is just literally doing like a random extra move like this. I'm like, honestly, like a little bit more effort into this.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie, every action scene, I'm looking at the guy that's already down, not Keanu.
Yeah. So So did you see the new Matrix movie that they did?
No.
It actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I actually liked it more than the second and the third one.
How many years has it been between the third and the fourth?
Like,
just over a decade or something.
Yeah, maybe
more.
Like under 15, I think.
Okay.
Under 15.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't have that information on hand, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't great. I probably wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah.
But in comparison to Matrix 2 and 3,
yeah,
it was vastly better.
Like it's just lightning in the bottle, man. Like the first idea
the first
always
Matrix, dude, is a fucking masterpiece. I can't knock that movie. That movie's so good.
Yeah. Because it spoke
good.
to,
and it makes you think.
It does. Yeah, that's the thing,
like,
right?
That's the thing. It's like, oh
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Am I in the Matrix?
Of course, isn't that? Well, that's what the movie is. You want to see some parallel between your real life and then whatever the story is being told.
Like the ability that movie to make you suspend disbelief. Yeah. Like they did such a good job.
Yeah, and then it's been the same thing with Mockingbird, The Hunger Games.
Yeah. All right. So me and Lauren watched. We watched the first one, and then we watched the second one, and then I guess Netflix pulled all of them, so we didn't get to watch because she's never seen them. Mm-hmm. So in the second one, I was pointing out, and she does do good acting at some points.
Yeah.
But Jennifer Lawrence, man, like at some scenes, she just
misogyny. She
doesn't capture like the emotion of it. Yeah. So there's a scene where her and Gail are talking in the woods, and like he's terrified. Like of the implications of what's going to happen because like of the war, the impending war, the rebellion and everything, and
she's not just selling
she's like we can just run away, and he's like no, like he's got emotion when he's just playing. I'm scared too. I don't believe you're scared, Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. Well, I hope she's listening.
You make me believe she's not gonna listen to this.
Yeah. No.
We're fucking nobodies,
dude. She will listen to this. Don't.
Yeah, we're gonna force feed her our content.
Yeah, I immediately saw your frustration in that storytelling.
Well, and that I don't think it was the writing. I think it was the acting in that scene.
Yeah.
But I mean, so there has to be some symbiosis. Like I don't care about special effects. I like practical effects better. Yeah. Like because I think they stand the test of time longer. So like if you look back at the 1990s Ninja Turtle movie. Looks vastly better than the CG one that came out with like fucking 5 years ago. Or
Yeah.
whatever. It looks way better.
Yeah, which movie are you talking about?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, I think you've mentioned that before when we were talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, and I did. And the last thing that I recall about that movie, obviously, I'm not into that kind of genre as you are. Getting into it
Yeah.
because the way you tell stories about those movies fascinates me now.
Yeah, and a lot, and don't get me wrong, part of it's nostalgia because I'm a
Yeah.
90s Ninja Turtles fan.
Yeah.
But like that story, it's dark, man.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking dark. It's kid like,
Mm.
and it was good. Like, but they try to capture the 90s like goofiness of like
Yeah.
the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But tell the first comic book,
Yeah.
which the first comic book is fucking dark. Like,
Mhm.
in the whole Ninja Turtle comic book series
Yeah.
is dark. There's no silliness in it,
Yeah.
really. Like, Michelangelo's still a goofball, but there's, like, bloodshed and, like, violence. It's, like, extreme, and it's awesome.
Do you think because you've been watching this thing nonstop, because you are at heart a fan of that kind of storytelling,
Yeah.
that you don't find that it has changed for you? For example, if I go back and watch maybe the first Star Wars,
Yeah.
because my memory, I haven't watched it in like maybe 10 plus years.
Yeah.
My memory of it is, I guess, based on the technology that they had then, is like epic
Yeah.
CGI, whatever they had going, right?
Yeah.
Mostly practical effects, I understand. But
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you
the
think
first-
it's because you've been watching it? Like, if I go back and watch it right now, I might like knock on some things. I would be like, that does not as good. That doesn't look as good as I remember it.
Okay, so I did have an experience with this because I recently watched the Ace Ventura movies
Yeah. Oh,
again, and
yeah. Good movie.
when I was younger, even in my early 20s,
Yeah.
I thought the second one was better.
Yeah.
But going back now, being older
Yeah.
and watching Ace Ventura 1
Yeah.
and then 2, I like the first one better.
Mm.
Like the story is more compelling, and Jim Carrey is over the top, but he's not as over the top as he is in the second one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the second one, he's just like fucking
Yeah.
fucking turn
Yeah.
the valve and
Yeah.
let all the gas out
Yeah.
for Ace Ventura and that. And I think he's more compelling in the first one now that I'm older than the second
The
one.
second one. But you think you haven't watched it in a while though, right?
Well, yeah, it had been a while since I watched it, but I did that recently, like maybe a year ago. I watched them like back to back, and I was just like, "What the fuck, man!" Like I used to love this.
I'm almost terrified to go back and watch some movies right now because just I want them to leave with the prestige that they have in my head.
Yeah, I mean, and that sucks, man. When you take the rose tinted glasses off,
Yeah.
like and you're just like you see a movie for what it is. And I had this argument with people a lot.
Yeah.
They're like, it's your job to suspend your disbelief
Yeah.
for a movie you paid for. It's not my job to do
Yeah.
that. It is the writers and
Correct.
the directors
Yeah.
and the actors.
Tell a compelling story.
It's their. They need to tell a story that suspends my disbelief.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to see a Marvel movie, I suspended my disbelief to a point where
Yeah.
I'm believing I'm viewing a world where there's superheroes and intergalactic threats and stuff like that. And people say it's like, oh no, it's their job to sell you the ticket. No, that's marketing's job. That's what marketing does. Marketing sells you the ticket.
I mean,
You like the actor once you get there. Like
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to work extra to be entertained.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. And if you enjoy those movies, that's absolutely fine. I have nothing against you. There's no hate going towards you if you enjoy those movies.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but did you call them retail movies? What are they called?
I call them one night stand movies sometimes. Like so, you watch it once, you don't call it the next day. You kind of just.
I don't know how those work. I'm married.
Yeah, I know. Well, so am I now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
there was a Quentin Tarantino interview. I think we both watched that.
Yeah, yeah,
We were
yeah.
discussing it, and he was saying, like, movie stars are not movie stars right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The Marvel star. He's like,
Yeah.
it's the superhero who's the.
Correct.
And some of the actors have come. The guy who plays Falcon, the guy who plays Sam, he said
Yeah.
the same thing. He goes, "I'm not the movie star.
Yeah.
Falcon's the movie
That's
star."
interesting.
And there is a disconnect, and it's probably true. But I just feel compelling stories aren't being told. Sometimes like the TV shows are doing better slightly, but now they're not. We're just like kind of. I feel like we're in a lull
Yeah.
of good quality storytelling.
Yeah. The only sort of like, I guess, thing that gives me hope that I might not necessarily hate the things that I used to love is there are songs from back in the day
Yeah.
that I listen to now, and you can tell the production is not there. It's not necessarily like the most complicated lyrical flow, whatever. The cadence is not like, it's just kind of old, but you like where it takes you still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
so
I
guess
listen to the Gorillaz. I go back, dude.
Yeah.
I love the Gorillaz, and like their new content that they come out has reminded me so much of old Gorillaz. And it's just like it brings me back.
My wife would. So sometimes I'll just play a song that we used to listen to in the club.
Yeah.
And she'd just literally perk her ear up and just come out of the bedroom and she's like, is that the song from that? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that is it. And the song itself is so bad. Like, it's so bad. Yeah, but then I guess you attach memories.
Well,
you
it's like
okay.
So I think you listened to this the other night, the Thong Song by Cisco.
Yeah.
That movie's so cringe. I mean, that song's so cringe, but it takes me back to like middle school because that's when that song came out.
Yeah.
I was like, shit.
That's interesting.
But it is. It's a cringy ass song, but it's nostalgic.
The movies that don't try to just be like to capitalize on whatever is popular at the time. Those are going to be the ones that last,
Yeah. Well, I find most of them are trying to push an agenda now.
Yeah.
Which is people are just tired of it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Super Mario Brothers. Simple fucking movie, man. Yeah. It's going to gross $1 billion. It did 300 million its first week, I think.
That's impressive.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna gross $1 billion. That movie's awesome.
And you're thinking it's because it's just about the story and nothing else.
Well, I mean, it's not that. They weren't really trying to do anything. They weren't. I don't feel like there's really any agenda pushing in that movie.
Yeah.
Like it was just for the family, and it was just a simple story. It wasn't even a great story. It was a simple story. It was a hero's journey because Mario starts off. And he's skilled, but he's not. Like he's kind of capable, but he's not.
Yeah.
And then he becomes more capable, and so he has an arc where he's struggling to overcome things, and then he overcomes them, and then he succeeds.
And he seems to have affinity for that.
Yeah,
and
whenever
the protagonist has some kind of a struggle.
Like let me take Captain Marvel for instance, right? So. Like I absolutely hate that movie, and it's for the story. And I can always separate the art from the artist.
Yeah,
but then the story is so bad, dude. Like so, did you see Captain Marvel?
I believe I have, but it's been a while. Yeah.
So at the beginning of it, they're like, you're too emotional. That's your weakness. You need to own your emotions. And then at the end of it, she becomes emotional. So therefore, she has no weakness because her emotions are her power. So it's like, then what the fuck do you have to overcome? Because she doesn't really struggle in the movie at all. Like she like kind of trips sometimes. Yeah. Like and she's just I'm just good at everything.
Yeah.
And it's fucking boring. Yeah. It's boring. That's why Rings of Power failed, because they make Galadriel like that, and it's boring.
And they could be creative, because it doesn't always even have to be struggle, because Saitama, One Punch Man.
Well, that's satirical, though.
Yeah.
The whole show's satirical.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a struggle necessarily. It's a
but
struggle of its own brand.
Yeah.
And it's...
The reason he's endearing is because he's kind of oblivious and doesn't care about what's happening around him.
Yeah.
Like, so he's just kind of like, he doesn't really pay attention. Yeah. He's really strong and really powerful. Yeah. But he's just kind of oblivious to everything that's going on.
That's
like
so
he's easily distracted by food and by other things.
Shopping.
Like but he's also humble, because his student Genos is an S rank and he's like a C rank hero.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
If I remember.
So it's like his student is higher ranked than he is.
Yeah.
But he doesn't care.
Yeah, because if the story was about how powerful he is, because he's all powerful, almost like there's not really an antagonist for him to actually make it a compelling story.
Yeah.
They had to find a story which is about him being like his personality, right? Like he's just indifferent.
Yeah, he is. He's just an indifferent person.
Yeah.
And like
which is an interesting angle.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
But but it's making fun of the animes that I used to like, but I don't like now because I hate the storytelling. like the oh, I'm in the middle of a fight and I'm losing, but I won. Why? We'll tell you later. We'll explain it later, and it'll make sense. It'll make sense. They do that all the time in Dragon Ball Z. They're just like, how did he win? How did Goku win? Oh, the Kiko Kaku bean.
Yeah.
And it's like, fucking
something happened.
Christ, man.
Yeah, and I wonder, it must be a big endorsement on your part to say the Mario movie was awesome, because I know how much.
Well, okay, so it was good. The whole movie was fan service.
Yeah.
The whole movie was fan service. And like, if that's something that companies don't do, they don't cater to their fans anymore. It's like, yeah, you want to bring in new people, but you want to keep the people who have come in and built you up. You want to keep them happy. If you're making them unhappy, you're going to lose your fan base, and you might bring in 1 or 2 more people, but you probably, if you bring in 1 or 2 more people and you lost 100, that's not a net gain.
No,
you just lost.
Yeah, like
and it's been happening so much with like, in the video games and stuff like Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive, all right. Dead or Alive is a whole fan servicey game, dude. Yeah. It's just like they created individual boob physics back in the 90s. Wow. They're the first people to do it, to make boobs move independently of each other.
Oh.
And so they capitalized on
that. And you
that.
recall that exact moment, don't you?
No, I'm not a fan of the game. I don't really like it. It's a fighting game. But I like fighting games. I just don't like that one. Yeah. I don't really play it, but I defend it because like there's people who buy it. There's a spin-off series called Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball. And it's like, that's a spin-off, and that's all it is. It's just those girls.
That's capitalizing on boob mechanics.
Absolutely,
physics. Yeah.
Absolutely. And my friends bought them. I didn't, because I'm not into the franchise.
Yeah, but
it's so like they were attacked so hard that they over-sexualized women that they desexualized. And guess what? Their last game didn't sell well because they did that. It's like you heard 5 people screaming about it on Twitter, so you changed everything.
That's a loud echo chamber.
Yeah, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, bro.
Yep.
And then you ruined your franchise. It's hard to come back from that, man.
It's insane.
It's hard to come back when you spit in your fans' faces.
Yeah.
It's hard to come back from that.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm taking my cue from you regarding what to get into now.
Well, I mean, it's. I'm not saying if you're into this stuff, it's bad.
No, I get it.
Like, enjoy what you want to enjoy. Like, if you like the Marvel movies, watch them. Support them. It's just like, vote with your dollar, though. If you don't like it, don't see it. If you don't like what they're doing, don't watch it. Don't keep throwing money to people who don't care about you.
Yeah. So if Dylan Mulvaney did a cameo on the Mario movie, you would have...
I don't think I would have cared, to be honest with you.
It was not much of a compelling story.
No, the story's not compelling. The story is like every basic Mario game. Yeah. It's the plot. It's like princess is in trouble, Mario saves princess. Yeah. That's literally it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Mario's not a deep, complex story. It's not like what they did with Sonic. Because in the early 2000s, they switched Sonic up. They gave him more story-oriented kind of stuff going on in like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. Yeah. Mario is still, like, even in Mario Odyssey, like the new Mario games, it's the same fucking plot, dude. Peach gets kidnapped by Dragon Turtle. Plumber saves Princess from Dragon Turtle. That every single game, that's the plot. Even in the RPGs that they make, which RPGs are inherently more story-based. The plots are very... But that doesn't make them bad games.
No, it doesn't.
Because sometimes the simplest stories are
the most
compelling.
Yeah, I believe you because I played the last Mario game I played was 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in 8th grade. I remember that bootleg.
Yeah, on your bootleg console.
console that my dad got me, which you made fun of. How many minutes did it take us to Google that thing? Because I was just describing it for you.
We were looking that up for like an hour.
Yeah, because we couldn't. I was describing it to you. You almost had the idea, but we couldn't find it. It was like, you're like, it must be one of those bootleg ones. Do you know like what kind of path that thing had to travel? From China through Somaliland to Ethiopia. Ethiopia. But I remember the first night I got it, I was in 8th grade, I remember. My dad came from a different part of the country. Gave it to. I played it all night long, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And for the next year and a half, I had multiple games, like the cassettes. I had that too.
Yeah.
The story is what you're describing, like that story. You know?
Yeah, it's very simple. It's very rudimentary. Well, I mean, they couldn't. For one, they really couldn't tell very compelling stories on the NES.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
So it was just simple. But like, I don't play Mario for the story. I play Mario like when I want to shut my brain off and
That's
jump and collect
escapism
coins and
is what you
shit.
got. Yeah, it's obviously for the nostalgia.
Yeah. It's great.
Takes you back.
But
I mean, I remember like phases when we were talking about Mario.
yeah,
Of a kid, a neighbor. His name
Yeah.
is Carlos.
like majority, the only thing that has changed from Mario
Yeah.
is the graphics. The story is pretty much the same. The graphics have just changed.
But I've noticed you like the classic graphics too.
Oh
know?
yeah, I love the old pixel. Like, because for me, graphics don't make the game. Like, there's people who just like, oh, if it doesn't have good graphics, it's a terrible game. Absolutely not. Because
Are you
can
like
see the.
Are you like a Puritan? Maybe like you're like a purist. Game.
No,
a game shall not
so
change.
I mean, I like role playing games, which role playing games are more inherently story based.
Yeah.
So they tell stories,
Yeah.
and like to me, they're interactive novels.
Mm.
I'm reading a book
Mm.
in an awkward way. It's kind of like a choose your own
Yeah.
adventure novel.
Yeah.
And I get to choose how that path turns out, and how long it takes to get there.
Mm.
So when I play them, like, I don't care about the graphics. I care about how good the story is. So like, look at all these games that are getting remastered now, like Chrono Cross, sold out, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to find a physical copy of it now.
Mm.
And that's a game that came out on the PS1. Same game. They didn't do
Interesting.
anything to it. They didn't really change anything. They upgraded the graphics a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
They did like an HD remaster. They changed some of the portrait art.
Yeah.
But that's it. But it's the same game.
I haven't played like a good console game in a while.
Yeah.
And I bought that Red Dead Redemption
Yeah.
2. Couldn't get past like
Yeah.
one mission. I was like, oh my god! Like I'm just riding a freaking horse.
Not to really knock on Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's not as good as the first one. It really isn't.
Yeah, there seems to be a theme here
Yeah.
where you
well, the story. Well,
and make me hate every sequel ever made, movie, game.
Well, most sequels
That's
aren't.
just unfortunate.
Most sequels aren't good though, because I feel most sequels
Yeah,
are just forced out of like a need to franchise something.
correct.
Like Star Wars, we knew it was going to be a trilogy because it said episode 4. So you're
Yeah.
like, oh well, there's 3 episodes before it,
Yeah,
and then there might be episodes afterwards.
yeah.
So that, like, in that story, I mean, it's good.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, it's a real hero's arc. The story of A New Hope is so good they redid it in Force Awakens,
Yeah.
but with a girl.
With a girl. Wow.
Because that's essentially what it is.
What it is? Yep.
They
Yeah.
and I wanted that movie to go a whole different route
Yeah.
because they kind of implied that in the first one that Finn was Force sensitive,
And
and I was just like, oh, that'd be so cool, a stormtrooper turned Jedi. How cool of a story would that be?
Yeah.
Nope. And then they
Didn't work.
they tell you in the movies beforehand that only Jedi are trained to use a lightsaber, right?
Yeah.
Finn's not a fucking Jedi. Last fucking movie, he's just swinging a fucking light. Anybody can fucking do it.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it.
I
But the last 2 movies were so fucking bad.
I when I hear your frustration, it's just as much intriguing for me when you're excited about something.
Yeah.
Because you're so part of the stories.
Well, like,
And
if
I-
you establish rules in your universe,
yeah.
follow the fucking rules that
Correct.
you put.
Yeah.
No one else put them there.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. I imagine you're like the one kid in the theater going like, are they supposed to do that? Like, what?
Well, no, I like Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. I was like, oh, it's A New
Yeah.
Hope, but the second movie,
Mhm.
half of it was a waste of fucking time.
Yeah.
I
love.
well, most of it was. It was the slowest car chase in history through space for 90% of the movie, and then Finn and Rose Tico go off and have this adventure that amounts to nothing, so therefore a waste of time.
I'm sorry, brother.
God, that movie was frustrating. I wanted to like it.
Yeah.
I wanted to like it. Like, Star Wars.
Don't go there. Don't go there. I was listening to Brian
and then
Cox.
I watched the last.
You know Dr.
one.
Brian Cox?
No,
I think you know him.
No, I don't.
He was talking about Prometheus, the movie.
Yeah.
I think, like, I'm hearing the exact kind of frustration in you that I heard when he was talking about the movies. Like, so he says the story starts out really great.
Yeah.
Obviously, the physicist in him, he's into astrology, the whole physics thing, and it's like, obviously, he's not like nitpicking the physics,
Yeah.
but he thought the story could go in such a super compelling way.
Yeah.
He was just waiting for it, and then they went this
Yeah.
super dramatic, like Hollywoodish way, and it's like,
Yeah.
please let me direct the next 15 minutes of the plot. It's like, and I was like, I felt it. I'm
Yeah,
seeing the
man.
same thing in you now. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at like how
Yeah.
much money these movies are making, right?
Yeah.
So like the most expensive Marvel movie that they've made to date is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Mm.
That movie lost money.
Wow.
Lost money. It made $700 million,
Mm.
and that is all money before they give the ticket prices back. That's just
To the theaters.
to the theaters.
Okay.
And on Disney's point,
Yeah.
they're more generous than other theater companies.
Mhm.
They give 60%, so 60 cents on the dollar goes back to the theater.
Yeah.
Okay, so it made 700.
I like how
million.
you know that, like off the top of
Yeah.
your head.
Well, I mean, I did research on this.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
so that's roughly about like 370 million, something
Okay.
like that. So
Yeah.
you cut that off there. There's 330 million left. Cost 250 to make it. So then
Yeah.
you cut 250 out of that, and that
That's
leaves
50 mil.
like 130. But then there's the marketing budget, which is usually the same amount of money that they went into it.
Yeah, with the ad.
Well, I mean,
for the
we'll
ad,
go
yeah.
half on that and go
Yeah.
150 at best. That's the best case scenario. If
Yeah.
they only spent half,
Mm-hmm.
they broke even, which means it made no money. That's the best case scenario for that movie. But then you look at a movie like Joker, right? Grossed $1 billion,
Mm.
and that was made by I think Warner Brothers. I think.
Not sure.
So not by Disney. So they only give 50%. So
Yeah.
50 cents on the dollar goes back to it. So that's 500 million.
That's the Joaquin Phoenix movie.
Yeah, the
new-
Joaquin Phoenix
yeah.
movie. And they estimate the cost of the movie was between 55 and 70. We'll
Yeah.
take the high end
Yeah.
and we'll go 70, and then we'll double it
Mhm.
for marketing. So
Yeah.
140. The movie made $360
That's
million.
that's a healthy profit margin right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they want to make more movies like that. The movie was low budget.
But
so
tell
low
me,
budget.
what was there any?
And most of that movie was most of the money went to pay Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, yeah. I mean, they better pay him. The guy was the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Was it because is there a comic, a Joker comic?
There is, but this has nothing to do with any
Exactly.
other
I was going to
Joker
ask you,
comic.
is it
Th-
because there
it's
was
not.
no reference for like the core
There's no
fan
reference
base?
to this, but
Mm.
like, I think they want to. If it was any other movie,
Yeah.
if it was titled something different, people wouldn't have saw it.
Mm.
People wouldn't have saw it.
Yeah.
Because of the Joker title, people would see it. But after watching it, you could take the Joker title away,
Yeah.
and it would still be a great movie.
Yeah. I know. What you
But
mean.
I don't think people would have seen it if it was called something different. That I do believe is true. Like, so
Okay.
if it wasn't called Joker, if it
Yeah.
was just called Crazy,
But it's not a clickbait if it's a good content.
no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but now they're making a sequel out of that too. They're bringing Harley Quinn and they're trying to bring it into. But it makes sense because it's a superhero movie now.
Yeah.
But
gonna play-
that's the reason why I compare it because it's
Yeah.
superhero movies.
But I was just thinking
Air
maybe
quotes.
because there was no reference to an
Yeah,
actual
but
comic
no, it's just
strip or something.
like the compelling. You see the struggles of him.
Mm.
You saw it, right? You
Yeah.
saw Joker.
Mhm.
Okay, so like at the beginning, like, he has a mental illness where he like laughs.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
laughs uncontrollably, randomly. He
Maniacal.
like to the point where he's printed out cards to hand to people while he's having these hysterical fits of laughter
Yeah.
to apologize for it. And like he keeps getting pushed around and bullied. And
Yeah.
this guy gives him a gun. Like, one of his friends who's a clown with him.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
gets pushed to the point where these guys are attacking him on the train, and he shoots all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then he leaves because it takes place in the 80s.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no cameras on the train.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes off, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is a crazy shooting." And then he thinks he's in this relationship with his neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
and like he keeps seeing her with him all the time. And then like the realization when he goes into her house at night and she's
Yeah.
terrified of him,
Yeah.
and he realizes all that stuff didn't happen,
Yeah.
it makes him snap.
Yep. A monster in other people's
Yeah,
eyes. Yeah.
it just that's
Yeah.
the thing. And then he ends up killing his mom, and then he goes on that show, the talk show
Mhm.
that he likes because they've been making fun of him on that
Interesting.
show.
Yeah, it's a really really good movie.
Yeah, it's a compelling story.
Yeah, but that character, I guess I don't know how dark it gets, but the darkness in that one is it's its own kind of darkness, you know. I mean, that's why they sometimes say that character is kind of cursed, especially
Yeah.
with what happened to Heath Ledger and
Yeah.
the others. It just seems to take whoever
A
wants to
toll.
portray that character. Yeah, it takes a
Yeah.
toll on them, and
Yeah.
but
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. I mean, because he's such a combination of mental illnesses.
yeah,
Like you
Yeah.
have to like the Joker because
a personality disorder,
yeah,
like a manic.
he's also narcissistic.
But exactly, there's that. But also like
he's
hopeful.
masochistic.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't care about pain being inflicted on him. He actually
Mhm.
enjoys it, especially when it's Batman. When Batman's beating on him,
That's
he
part of the
loves
coping
it.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's also codependent because he's
Mm.
really dependent on Batman.
Yeah.
Like so, he's
Correct.
got so many complex.
Yeah, he's attached meaning
yeah.
to that relationship.
Yeah,
Very
that
different.
relationship,
Yeah.
that very toxic relationship between him
Yeah.
and Batman means more to him than the relationship with him and Harley Quinn.
I mean, that's almost a caricature of most relationships.
Like Harley Quinn means nothing to him.
yeah.
She's expendable.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, you want to know something funny? You
Mm.
might not know this.
I
So,
probably not. Is it about
so Harley Quinn was never in the comic books
No?
until she was brought in during the animated show. Someone made the character Harley
Okay.
Quinn,
Okay.
and then the character was so compelling that Joker had a sidekick
Mm.
that they brought her into the comics.
Oh.
Yeah, Yeah.
But what was the Jared Leto one the first time she was
Ah.
introduced?
no,
No.
no.
I mean, to the
oh,
Batman
wait.
Joker kind
To
of
the
world.
to the movies.
Yeah.
yeah. She. I think this was her first time in the movies.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm talking about the
that-
movies because I'm
that-
not into the
Yeah,
comics.
yeah. Yeah, but that was like, that was her first time being in the movies. I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
I can't think of. I'm trying to think of Jack Nicholson's because he had a girl following him around. But I don't think she was named. I don't think they gave her a name.
Hmm.
He had this little blonde girl following around in the movie, but I don't recall him
You know,
calling.
you
her
know, I haven't
anything.
watched that one. Not
You've never
the
seen that
Jack Nicholson one.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't stand up.
Which is the best one? In your
The
opinion?
best one?
Yeah.
Dark Knight, man.
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
Interesting.
Dark Knight, dude. Heath Ledger. I didn't think he could pull it off, man. He surprised the shit out of me. in that
Yeah.
movie. When I heard it, I was like, Heath Ledger?
Yeah. I mean, he's a
Night-
really good
from
actor.
Knight's
though.
Tale?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Because you
well,
remember
no,
that
it's
night
nothing
movie is what
against-
you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not that. It's
Yeah.
just like he's always been, because he's a handsome guy.
Yeah.
So he's
Oh,
always
yeah.
played he always plays the pretty
The
boy,
heartthrob,
the
yeah.
pretty boy hero type.
Yeah.
So it's like, I haven't seen him do any other acting than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched his entire catalog of movies and shows, but I've only seen him in a handful.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
like, I
I
was
don't,
just
I don't,
like-
I don't,
I didn't
remember
think
any
he had
of
the
story.
range for it.
No.
But he surprised the shit out of me. It was beautiful. And then when he passed, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
After that performance.
It was shocking.
Yeah, it was shocking.
It was
It's
who
shocking.
who played Batman in that movie?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Yeah. Christian Bale was saying, because I saw this interview about him, it's like the way he portrayed that character was so good.
Yeah.
And you know Christian Bale, he gets
Yeah.
into his character.
Oh, yeah.
like
yeah,
loses
he's a
like
good actor.
100 pounds and
Yeah.
then gets like emaciated
Yeah.
to the point of it, like they're like, we need to hospitalize you, brother.
Yeah.
And then gets fat for that serial killer thing that he did.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, was that Jared Leto? I think that was Jared Leto. But there's one thing that he got really big for.
Yeah.
It was story. I think it was some leader or something. And he was saying like, I thought to myself, this character is starting to be more interesting than Batman.
Yeah,
himself.
yeah. I did see that interview.
You're
too.
right. And Batman is such a contradiction, like
Yeah.
such a weirdo
Yeah.
that you can't, and then a hero that you want to love.
Yeah.
When the antagonist becomes more compelling.
Well, that's what
it's
I
almost
think
scary. That's
Batman is though.
Yeah.
Batman's villains are more interesting than he is.
so interesting.
Just
yeah.
just in general in the comic books. Like
Isn't that
his
interesting?
his villains have way more compelling stories than he does.
I wonder why.
I don't know. But
I
that's
think-
that's why I like Batman, because I'm not a big DC guy like
Yeah.
Marvel more.
Yeah.
But when I go to DC, it's always Batman because
Mm.
I like his.
I think it's
villains
probably
more.
because his story is locked into that
Yeah,
like tortured
yeah.
like orphan.
Well, it's not just that; it's his villains are more compelling than anybody else. And I think Superman's the most boring fucking superhero in
Superman?
the world. Yeah, he's so boring. Like he's so boring they had to create weaknesses for him over time to make him more
Slowly.
interesting.
Yeah, with
Because-
the kryptonite and stuff.
Well, yeah, not just that. Like he has to recharge in front of the sun. Never had to do that before. Like
Really?
he
He has to recharge.
he has to recharge.
In which movie?
So he has to go and meditate in front of the sun a lot.
like,
I don't know if they've done it in the movies.
Like he would run out of charge and he needs to go there.
Yeah, he needs to go regain his strength.
Oh, that's so
he needs-
impractical.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah. So, but that was never before. So
what's his
originally,
what's his battery life
okay,
like?
so this is a funny story of Superman. So originally he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
He was bald,
Okay.
and he came to world to conquer it. And it was in Action Comics,
Okay.
and then which was one of DC's first comic book things. They just had like these big, thick ass,
Yeah.
like phone book style things of comic books
Okay.
that you'd buy.
Mm-hmm.
And they had DC, which was Detective Comics,
Yeah.
and then they had Action Comics.
Okay.
And that's where Action Comics is where like the Flash came in, and Green Lantern and Superman. So originally he was a bad guy. Then they rewrote him
Green
to be
Lantern.
like the American superhero. But he's boring because he's too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no one who can beat him. He just wins. And it's like that's not a compelling story. So like green kryptonite. That's his weakness. So now everybody has this fucking green kryptonite to fight him. It's like, but it's supposed to be rare.
Yeah.
But everybody has the green kryptonite. So like, now there's red kryptonite. This
Oh,
is even stronger.
Oh no.
And now there's gold kryptonite, which can, if he's
Oh,
exposed to it
no.
too long, it'll take his powers away.
I quit that series
now-
way before it got bad.
And now he has to recharge in front of the yellow sun. They've had to add so much caveats to his character.
They went
to
through
make him more
green,
interest-
red, and
There's
gold
so many,
kryptonite?
There's so many kryptonites, dude. There's more kryptonite. I don't know them all, but there's more than that. I've seen like the list of his weaknesses that they've had
Yeah.
to add over time to make him more interesting.
yeah. That's so bad, dude.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Was that part of the Smallville? Did you remember that series?
I don't remember there ever being kryptonite in Smallville.
There was kryptonite. I don't know
Was
for
there?
sure. Yeah, there was kryptonite because Lex Luthor.
Excuse me.
You know, you're good.
Yeah, I know. I did like that though. That Clark Kent and Lex Luthor were friends.
Oh, that was a really good movie. I mean, that
that
girl
show,
ended up
yeah.
being in the Nexium cult, whatever.
Yeah,
ruined
that
it for me.
show was actually
story.
really good and compelling.
Yes, the dad and his relationship. I don't know for however long that the dad was alive for. I don't want to ruin it for anybody,
I don't
but
remember. I used to watch it on TV, so I catch it off and on.
dude, I remember the intro song in my head. I mean, that's my and the guy that ended up being quadriplegic.
Yeah.
What was the first guy to play Superman? It was not the first. the first one. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Good guy. I mean, that I had his poster in my room
Yeah.
when I was as a kid,
Yeah.
and then my next introduction to Smallville was
Yeah.
to Superman was Smallville.
Yeah.
The last I know was Kryptonite.
Yeah.
God, that's so bad.
Yeah, they
had to
so
charge
many
up.
things. Yeah, he has to go to the sun in the comics. I don't know if they've done it in any of the movies, but he has to go out there and he sits there and he meditates in front of the sun, like sits Indian style and just
Indian style.
and just fucking just sits up there and is like, oh shit,
yeah.
in front of the moon, in front of the sun, and yeah, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy how ridiculous that is.
Yeah.
And
where could they have taken that story though? It's locked
I mean,
into this
there's not
origin story.
that's
they
what
can't
the
leave.
route they had to go because, like, he's too strong. Like when
Yeah.
you make a character with no weaknesses,
Yeah.
and just infinite strength,
That's you run into problems.
You realize, you created the best character in the world, but guess what? He's
Yeah.
boring
Yeah.
because he can just beat everybody.
Like Marvel with the time travel thingy.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Did I just throw you into?
No, it was because so the reason Infinity War hit so hard
Yeah.
is because you finally realize there were stakes.
Yeah.
The good guys lost, and you don't always want to see that. You want the good guys to win,
Correct.
but it's good to make the viewer feel like there's stakes
Mm.
in what they're going through because you want them to believe the story.
Mm-hmm.
And like if there's nothing to ever lose,
Yeah.
like if you always win,
Yeah.
like then what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Like when there's stakes, because boom,
You've got something
like,
to fight for.
it's so impactful when Thor comes down, because he's being cocky because he wants to get the last word into Thanos before he kills him. He hits him in the chest with Stormbreaker, and then Thanos is like, "You should have gone for the head." And then he snaps his fingers, and then half of everybody starts disappearing around everybody, and the panic and fear on everybody's eyes. Just like, oh, my friend, like when Iron Man's holding Peter, and he just turns to dust in his fucking hands.
Yeah. Did you cry?
It's heartbreaking. No.
It's okay. You can tell me.
Well, no, I don't cry to
Because I cried on Transformers too. It's okay to cry. I was a kid, but
the Shia LaBeouf ones.
yeah. No, the scene with
When Optimus dies.
yeah. No, actually, you know what? It's interesting.
Oh,
for
dude,
me.
I fucking love that scene. I'm
yeah.
a Decepticons guy. All the way.
Yeah, of course you
all
are.
the way.
I
When
remember,
they were beating the shit out of Optimus, I was like, yes, chase him.
it wasn't that scene that actually made me cry. It was the ending of that. I think it was the same movie when they won. I guess
Yeah.
on the bridge or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, why did I find this so emotionally, you know, like triggering? My cousin was in there. We cried. He's a pilot now, so
See, my favorite
it's okay.
character is kind of like the wussiest fucking character.
who is it?
I like Starscream.
Yeah,
Jet, yeah.
yeah. He's an opportunist.
Well,
He's-
yes.
yeah.
And he's smart. Like if he can't win the fight, he's fucking out of there.
Dodging out
Yeah,
there.
well, I mean, you gotta pick your battles, man. Like Megatron's just like, I'm fucking standing my ground.
Yeah.
And there's nothing admirable about that, but like,
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna go for Decepticons, and I'm not saying
no.
I'm not,
Most
I'm not-
people don't. Most people
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I like Starscream though. I've always have.
Mm.
Like, even when I was a kid, I was like Starscream.
Oh, you know, before I forget, I should tell you. I don't know if it was on the series, on the Superman thing. I wanted to tell you. Do you know how many movies they've actually made some kind of reference to Ethiopia? So many, dude. I know
No.
you won't notice it.
No.
Well, now you know me. I'm sure you're gonna notice it.
No.
But
Yeah, now I know Ethiopia is a real place.
it's a real place.
Because I
It's
met a
not-
guy from it. I was just like, nah, it's made up.
It doesn't exist. Ethiopia.
Doesn't
Couldn't they come
exist.
up with a better
Africa.
name? Yeah. And then they had one of the kryptonites they actually found. I think it was Lex Luthor on Smallville. Was from
in
Ethiopia, and it was sort of geologically accurate because where we have like these rare looking stones is at
Yeah.
the Nacelle Depression.
Yeah.
The lowest place
Yeah.
on Earth. They got like super exotic.
Yeah,
If they were ever to do like a Mars kind of scene,
it would be there.
the best place to actually do it is Ethiopia, the Afar
Yeah.
region. And they had like a label on there. So he went into this museum, I guess, tried to steal that thing.
Yeah.
And it had rare earth, whatever. They labeled it some scientific name, and it was Afar Ethiopia. And I'm like, I am a fan
Yeah.
of this show forever.
That's cool though. I mean, there are
Yeah.
writers who do their research like that. and they'll find
Absolutely.
places- and
Yes.
that's
But
compelling.
I think that's why I ended up
like
being
that.
like a number one fan of that show. Like, they
Yeah.
know Ethiopia. Are you kidding me?
they know Ethiopia exists.
Yeah. No more movie have ever referenced Ethiopia.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
But
I mean,
like-
Wakanda could be. It's close.
So and to segue a little bit,
Yeah.
the way because right now I think we're in like superhero fatigue, pretty much.
Mm.
Like I think the bad writing has, in my part, I think is bad writing
Yeah.
has
Compounded
kinda-
ish, Yeah.
increased the fatigue.
Yeah.
So you have more people are having less and less patience for it.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna slowly go into video game movies now.
I mean, we got AI going. We got
I mean, I
VR.
think. Well, I mean, with the success of Sonic
Yeah.
and Mario now,
Yeah.
because Mario's doing like, I think they're gonna start their own like Nintendo Cinematic Universe now.
Wow.
I mean, that's the way it looks like it's going. Like a Legend of Zelda movie, dude.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome. That'd be fucking great.
How would you try and advise someone like me? Because
What do you
for
mean?
me, your excitement, I'm going to tell you, your excitement about these stories
Yeah.
is what pumps me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
actually love it. Like, I know
Yeah.
you, I know your outlook towards the world. So when you find a storyline about some specific thing or a franchise really compelling,
Yeah.
I want to be part of that story. So where would you have me start?
From Zelda?
I don't care.
Oh, shit,
Zelda,
dude.
Mario.
Well,
But
Mario.
Think about no. I want you to think about this first
Well,
because
I
this is a
am.
huge responsibility
Mario,
for you. I
can
think
Mario, you could start anywhere because the
With the
story's
movie
the
now?
same.
with
Yeah.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
You sure?
The story's now. I mean, the story's the same. as
Because
it
I
always
heard them
has
say
been.
it's like an origin story almost.
It is an origin story.
But
'cause
like
it's
you said,
his
there's
first
not a
venture into the
huge
Mushroom
story there,
Kingdom.
yeah. Yeah.
It's his first intro into the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
But it's it isn't a massive story. It's not a deep plot.
Yeah.
It's a simple damsel in distress movie.
Yeah.
I mean, she is more capable than most damsels are.
Women are
Like,
capable.
yeah,
dude.
she fights and stuff
Yeah.
in the movie, but
Yeah.
like ultimately, like Mario does save her.
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi save her.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So Mario, you want me to get into Mario first?
I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. You should definitely watch it.
Yeah.
But like Zelda, fuck, dude, Zelda's such a complicated thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because all the games weren't supposed to be connected, but because people tried to connect the dots,
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo connected the dots, and it's just a weird ass timeline that splits into 3 timelines.
Yeah.
And I think now even a 4th. So it's
Wow.
just it's very convoluted and complex.
Well, you'll think about it and
But-
tell me this topic right here, because
if they were to do a movie though,
yeah.
they would probably, and I think it would be the most marketable one that they could
Yeah.
do, would be an Ocarina of Time.
Grain of Time
Ocarina of Time.
or Karina of Time.
Yeah, like that's like their most iconic Zelda game that they've ever put out.
Yeah.
That was the first game they put out on the Nintendo 64 that was
Uh-huh,
Zelda,
uh-huh.
and it's still critically acclaimed as like probably one of the best games of all time.
Really?
I don't particularly think so. I'm not saying it's a bad game.
Yeah.
But I don't
Are you
think
saying like the
it's-
popular
yeah.
commentary?
Because all right, so Zelda kind of changed the way it did things.
Mm-hmm.
With the Nintendo 64, it
Mhm.
became more. And there's nothing bad about this, but it became more of a theme park game.
Mm.
So where it's like, oh, go here, go here,
Mhm.
go here. It's taking you on a tour, pretty much.
Mm.
And you can do some things out of order, but most of the things you can't.
Yeah.
So you have to follow pretty much a set path to the end.
Is it a group game or do you play?
No,
solo?
it's by yourself.
By
It's a
yourself,
single player
yeah.
game, but it's a good game. I mean, I like it. I loved it when I was a kid, and I've replayed it recently. I still love it. It still holds up today.
Mhm.
I mean, the graphic. I mean, people are like, "Oh, the graphics." The graphics aren't great. It's Nintendo 64. It's polygon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what do you want from it?
If you're pixel counting, it's
Yeah.
not gonna be fun for you.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry you don't like
Yeah.
polygons.
Yeah.
It's still a good game though. The
Right.
gameplay's still good. I mean, the gameplay is still the same as every other Zelda game except for Breath of the Wild, the new ones that
Mhm.
just came out. Every other gameplay's the same. It's a little bit more toned up.
What platform can you play it on right now?
You can play it on the Switch.
Okay.
You have to buy their like $100 expansion pass or whatever to get it,
Sure. I mean, if you say it's worth it.
but yeah, you can play it on there. It's
All right. So Mario and the something of time
or Zelda Ocarina of Time.
or Crane of Time.
Yeah,
Or Crane of Time.
Instrument. It's like kind of like a
Yeah.
flute.
Yeah. And I'll
I
get
actually
you.
have one.
Oh, yeah, you do? Well, I'll
bring
believe
it.
you.
I'll bring it. I'll bring it sometime. Yeah,
Show it to
but
me.
yeah, it's an actual instrument. You can play it and everything.
I think you showed me something like that.
Yeah,
Was
it's-
it like
yeah.
a weird looking
Yeah, it's
instrument?
like it's kind of like round.
Yeah.
With like a spout sticking out of it,
Uh-huh.
kind of that you blow
Yeah.
into. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that sounds like your description exactly matches a bidet, but okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll check those out. Yeah. No, I want to get into it. I want to be part of your excitement. Yeah.
Games. Well, maybe one time we can just do like a gaming stream. And
Sure,
we can just
man.
like sit back and chill. I can introduce you to some games.
My complete credulity would be part of the fun.
Yeah,
You being like a master sensei.
Oh, it's the same thing that I like. It'll be the same thing like with my wife. I
Yeah.
get to show her something I love
yeah.
because she just never watched any of the shows and stuff, movies that I watched
Yeah.
really. So getting to watch it with her is kind of like watching it brand new.
Yeah.
So it'd be like playing a game that you haven't played.
Correct.
well, which is most of them
yeah.
that I've played. It would be like
Yes.
playing the game all over again because
Yep.
I get to see
Treat me
someone's
just like your
fresh
wife.
experience. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
trick
just
you.
like your wife,
I'm gonna
right?
trick you, yeah. Yeah,
just
I'm
like
gonna-
your. No,
gonna get you
that I
Nicole.
find that really exciting, honestly. And I'll get you like a David Hume book or something, you know.
Yeah.
Get into my
Like,
world. Just like, did you read chapter 2? What's your opinion on existential threat?
I just freaking get there.
Well, you do
Cliff
like
Notes version of
you
of
do
your
like
book.
philosophy, so I don't. Think
I
you
do
have
like
an issue.
philosophy.
You do love philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think introspectively, but I mean, thought we'd
Yeah.
start this podcast off light by talking about movies. And
Yeah, I
video
know.
games.
We talk about
So much stuff, man.
What was there even a topic that we stayed on? I mean, we mostly stayed
Well,
on
we segue a lot.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah, we segue a lot.
I don't mind it. I don't.
No, neither do I.
I don't want it to be too thematic.
Our conversations usually go on road trips.
Yeah,
They're just like,
and then come back.
yeah,
I bet there's a game for that too.
yeah,
Probably.
probably.
Your encyclopedic knowledge of like old school games
Oh yeah, dude.
is going to come in handy. But I need to catch up a little bit. You
Oh
know?
my god, dude!
Yeah.
Like the amount of knowledge that I surprised myself with having. I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I remember this, and I remember
Interesting.
like the passcode from it. It's like a game I haven't played in 30 years.
Yeah,
remember
but
how
you
to do
see, and I don't know if people could see the same thing that I see. Probably your wife does because she can see you when
Oh
you're
yeah, she
talking to
gets
her.
excited. Yeah,
Yeah, your excitement about these things sort of is like holding on to some of your childhood,
yeah,
some of that innocence, some of that excitement about storytelling and escapism. Not in the way, in a sense where you're an adult, you're like, I just want to fucking get out of this life right now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But for you to be that excited is almost contagious, and I like it.
yeah.
It's
Well,
the-
like Cobra Kai. Can get on this.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So me and my wife,
I
I've
wish-
already watched it all the
I
way
wonder
up
if
through
people can
season
see your
5.
face when you're talking
they?
about this. Yeah, they could. You're like,
Cobra
ooh,
Kai.
Cobra Kai. Yeah.
Cobra Kai
Yeah.
is so awesome to me
Yeah.
because I'm not a Karate Kid fan. I'm not. I've seen the movies when I was younger,
Yeah.
and I was like, they're okay.
And you're not into MMA either.
Yeah, no, not really.
Not in real life. And
Not
I
really.
am.
But I loved the story of Cobra Kai. I
Mm.
love it, and I've watched it all before. But I get to rewatch it with my wife,
Yeah.
and the excitement I see in her gets me excited because like we'll watch shows, we'll watch like The Office or
Yeah.
Community
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and she'll be like, we'll watch an episode and we'll have a good time.
Yeah. It's
'Cause
funny.
it's
Ha
funny.
ha ha. It's
Yeah.
like punchlines. Yeah.
But like the story gets her so she wants to watch another one. She's like,
Mm.
yes, I want to watch another one.
And you're like explaining
And
to
I'm
her,
like,
you see how this
yes.
character
Yeah.
is not really the enemy, really is not the antagonist. You can see that
Yeah.
there is something about him that is so
Yeah.
human, you know, so relatable.
Well, yeah, because like when you rewatch it, because
Yeah.
the way they frame Daniel, they follow him around
Yeah. Don't run
in,
up on
in the
people, though.
movie. I'm talking about the original Karate Kid.
Okay.
In the original Karate Kid, they follow him around, and so you're like, oh, he's the good guy because the camera's following him.
Yeah.
He's, and then Johnny's obviously the antagonist because he's the one that the protagonist has conflict with. But if you look at it, if you take a step back and you look at it, they're both bad people. Like Danny's not. I mean, they're being typical teenagers. They're fighting over a girl,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Like
That's
regular
what it
human
is.
beings. Yeah.
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 But every instance where Daniel gets his ass kicked, he instigates it. Like Johnny goes down to the beach because he sees him talking to his girl,
Yeah.
and then Danny butts his fucking ass in there. Like, hey, what's going on, guys? And he's just like, dude, we're
You
having a
deserve that.
conversation.
Yeah.
And
He
so
deserved it.
So Johnny does an asshole thing. He gives him a little shove. Danny trips,
Yeah.
and then Danny gets up and sucker punches him. So then Johnny kicks his ass.
Yeah. Justified.
Yeah, justified. And then he fucks with their bikes.
Yeah.
He runs them off the road
Yeah.
on their bikes later on. And then they're at the dance. Johnny's minding his own fucking business, not even fucking with Danny.
Yeah.
Not even doing anything.
Mhm.
And then Johnny turns the hose on him. So they chase him down, they whoop his ass, and then Mr. Miyagi shows up and beats up a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
And so
It's not such a.
it's not a black and white.
kind of
Yeah,
thing,
it's
yeah.
not a black and white story. But I mean, the way, because you're following Danny, it is. He's the good guy. He's the one getting bullied. And like, he's not getting bullied. He's just being an asshole too. And he just doesn't have the knowledge to fight back against
Correct.
the people
Yeah.
who are more skilled than him.
Yeah. And it that lays out a good background story for this one, for this Cobra Kai.
It does. It sets the groundwork for Cobra
Yeah.
Kai. But like they take it to the extreme. That whole pivoting point right there, where
Mhm.
Johnny loses the tournament in the 80s, shifts his whole life dynamic. And the same thing for Danny too, because now Danny's successful
Yeah.
and Johnny's a failure. And then so it's like it all goes back to that point where that fucking crane kick lands.
Yeah.
That's when life changed.
Interesting. So you see so many parallels in your life, like reality, like people's relationships, how people behave towards other people.
Now,
Yeah.
now that I'm older.
Yeah.
'Cause now I look at everything way more critically than I did.
Exactly, and it is a good catalyst for a conversation, like a meaningful conversation with your partner.
Well, I mean, because when I was younger, like if it had like the first X-Men movie, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, X-Men, yeah, boom, 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 boom. But I think early on, like in my early 20s, I started sitting down and like, because I stopped enjoying them like around that time because I went to see X-Men or Wolverine Origins or something like that. That movie's so fucking bad.
Yeah.
The movie's so bad. And I went to theaters with one of my friends, and he's like, "Oh, that movie's fucking great, wasn't it?"
Yeah.
It's just because it had Wolverine in it.
That seeing him.
Yeah,
getting out of that.
it's not just that.
Yeah.
The whole plot and story was just bad. It was just bad, man.
Yeah.
They fucked up Deadpool.
With that end credit scene.
Ryan Reynolds with the mouth bald, butt naked, swords coming out of his. When the fuck did he
get the adamantium?
And the marketing for that movie, I remember the marketing. Like they're like listing all the mutants that are in the movie, and they show like a scene with a mutant in it.
Yeah.
That was the only fucking scene they were in there. That was the only fucking scene. They're like Emma Frost, and she turned to diamonds, and she's blocking bullets. That was it. That was it.
No background.
No, that was the only scene. They fucking listed all these fucking like with Cyclops and everything. There's like that's like the only action scene with them in it.
Wow.
It's like there's like a couple more scenes with them like running around and shit, but that's it.
Maybe they might make it up for you with the new movie.
What do you mean, the mutants?
No,
because they're not calling it
Wolverine.
They're not calling X-Men anymore. No, they're calling it the mutant because X-Men's sexist, dude. So it's called the Mutants now.
That's a whole other Pandora box. Don't open that. Don't open that one now.
Yeah.
Well, I think we might have gone over an hour.
Well, that's fine.
Did we?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, I want to keep it like short and hot and sexy.
Yeah.
Because I don't see any end to how you and I could either bash or sing praises to some art that's been and will come forward.
I could go on forever talking about this stuff.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How often do you want to do this? Every week?
Yeah, we can do it weekly.
Yeah,
that's fine.
What is going to be our policy on swear words? Because there's been a couple of F-bombs in there. Should we just apologize in the beginning of the podcast and say,
I'm sorry, but I am going to swear.
Yeah.
When I get talking, I can't help it.
Okay, so my dad might not have internet connection stable enough to follow podcasts back home, so I'm not worried.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I told, because my mother-in-law, she was like, is he going to swear? Talking about you. Because I don't swear around her.
Yeah.
I was like, no, but I will be.
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, I will be swearing.
Well, ma'am, I did not swear to the best of my ability.
Yeah. I swear I can't help it. When I start talking things, especially when I'm talking passionately.
Yeah. There is passion there.
Yeah, I know there is.
There's
I'm
no
very
doubt
passionate
about
storytelling, man.
Like which is why I think you're a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
my daughter liked you too, which is interesting because when kids like you, it's a good energy, a vibe thing.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if she hated you?
Oh, yeah. Like, I wouldn't be here.
It would have been so hard for me to get out of this.
I wouldn't be here.
Like, I'll be like, how do I?
We can do this out in the street here in the cul-de-sac near my house.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't give out my address, dude.
I said a cul-de-sac.
Do not find the cul-de-sac.
Do not look for any cul-de-sacs.
Never in the Belton area.
See, you just gave away. That was you.
Very good. Anyways, this was so much fun, dude.
Yeah.
As I expected it would be.
You can follow us on. Hang on, let me get the Twitter handle.
You got set up a Twitter thing.
Yeah, I set up a Twitter thing.
Wait, were we streaming?
Yeah, we're streaming.
We were? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
On Twitch.
All right.
Give me a second.
This was so much fun.
The Twitter thing.
I hoped the audio.
Our handle is at a Barely Podcast.
Yeah.
Because the Barely Podcast was taken.
The Barely Podcast.
So a Barely Podcast.
Yeah. We're gonna figure that out. We're gonna iron this out.
We'll get it
along with an icon or something.
Episode 1, folks. Episode 1.
Yep. Episode 1 in the books. Thank you, brother. That was Hella good time.
Yeah,
brother.
good time, man.
Appreciate you. Is there? You didn't say anything about the Ethiopian coffee I made you?
Oh, he made me a cup of Ethiopian coffee.
Was it good?
It's terrible.
Says as he gulps down the last sip in the
no,
cup
there's
that I
some
gave
more.
him, and I gave him the most ethnic cup that I could find with the alphabets of my ethnic language.
Yeah, I know. Well,
The scripts
I was
from Ethiopia.
I was gonna ask you about that. I was like,
Yeah.
is this the Ethiopian?
Well, it's not just a random cup. This is a cup that flew over 7,000 miles to be here between
to
you
be
and
here
I.
with me today to get
Yes,
drinking by
sir.
a white man.
For you to smack your lips against it and say bad stuff about it. There you go. It's got the scripts of the Sabian language, the Amharic language, which is something that I had to memorize growing up. So
Yeah,
there you
that's a
go.
lot. That's a lot more.
All that is in my brain, brother.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
like
lot.
20% of my memory capacity, my CPU.
I'm just looking at it. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah, with your 26 letters and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, bro.
Appreciate you, brother Chris. See you
Yeah.
next week, brother.
Next week, man.
All right, see
Bye.
y'all.